I was just doodling Hillary and Donald Trump, but I won't show you that one. Anyway, thanks, Megan. Welcome to Hannity tonight. Only 8 days left to stop the Obama-Clinton machine, and Hillary Clinton is desperately trying to distract you, the voters, after the FBI on Friday reopened its investigation into a private email server. Now, according to the Wall Street Journal, the FBI is now searching through, get this, 650,000 emails found on what is thought to be a shared laptop belonging to the Clintons' top aide, Huma Abedin, and Huma's estranged husband, Anthony Weiner. According to the report, the FBI thinks that some of those thousands of emails could have been sent to or from Clinton's private server. Now, Clinton, she can try and downplay the FBI's probe all she wants, but we need to get one thing straight tonight. Everything that is happening, everything that's going to happen, this is Hillary's fault. It's nobody else's fault here. She's now involved in going full Ken Starr on poor James Comey. She can blame him or Huma Abedin or Anthony Weiner or, of course, the vast right-wing conspiracy of congressional Republicans, all that she wants. But Hillary can only blame herself and her own poor judgment. And Clinton is the one who ultimately decided to use that private server to conduct official government business. She's the one who could have exposed American national security secrets to those that do not wish ill to America and the American people. She's the one who didn't know that a C marking meant that something's classified. She thought it was alphabetical, except they were missing an A, a B, a D, and an X, and a Y, and a Z. She's the one, according to the Daily Caller, didn't complete the necessary State Department training on how to handle classified information. She's the one who told the FBI during a 3.5-hour interview when she was not under oath she couldn't recall or remember 39 times. And she even appeared to blame her concussion at one point. And she's the person who decided to lie after it was discovered what she had done. Hillary Clinton has had plenty of opportunities to tell the truth to you, the American people. She's refused to do so. Take a look at the many times she has changed her story. By the way, this is something the mainstream media is not playing for you. Watch.
The laws and regulations in effect when I was Secretary of State allowed me to use my email for work. That is undisputed. It clearly wasn't the best choice. And I take responsibility for that decision. I thought it would be easier to carry just one device for my work and for my personal emails instead of two.
iPhone or Android?
iPhone. Okay, in full disclosure,
BlackBerry.
and a BlackBerry. I have an iPad, a mini iPad, an iPhone, and a BlackBerry. I believe I have met all of my responsibilities, and the server will remain private. In order to be as cooperative as possible, we have turned over the server. They can do whatever they want to with the server. I am confident that I never sent nor received any information that was classified at the time it was sent and received. So that leaves the 100 out of 30,000 emails that Director Comey testified contained classified information. I did not receive anything that was marked as classified. Director Comey said that only 3 out of 30,000 had anything resembling classified markers.
You were the official in charge. Did you wipe the server?
What, like with a cloth or something? No, well, no. We turned over everything that was work-related, every single thing.
No, she didn't. And it wasn't a cloth. It was bleach bit. It was acid washed. Now, all the examples I'm showing you are exactly why, according to the latest Fox News poll, 67% of likely voters say Hillary Clinton is not honest and not trustworthy. And part of the reason voters probably feel this way is because anyone who has followed the facts in this case knows that Clinton has avoided telling the truth at all costs. Now, she's claimed time and time again that she did nothing wrong when it comes to handling classified information. But back in July, remember FBI Director James Comey? Well, now they're trying to Ken Starr him. Well, he said that simply wasn't the case. Watch this.
From the group of 30,000 emails returned to the State Department in 2014, 110 emails in 52 email chains have been determined by the owning agency to contain classified information at the time they were sent or received. 8 of those chains contained information that was top secret at the time they were sent. 36 of those chains contained secret information at the time, and 8 contained confidential information at the time. That's the lowest level of classification. Although we did not find clear evidence that Secretary Clinton or her colleagues intended to violate laws governing the handling of classified information, there is evidence that they were extremely careless in their handling of very sensitive, highly classified information.
Very powerful. Now, days later, Comey had this exchange with Congressman Trey Gowdy that offered more evidence that Clinton not only has not been honest, but Comey's admitting she broke laws. Watch this.
Secretary Clinton said there was nothing marked classified on her emails either sent or received. Was that true?
That's not true. There were a small number of portion markings on, I think, 3 of the documents.
Secretary Clinton said, I did not email any classified material to anyone on my email. There is no classified material. Was that true?
Now, there was classified material emailed.
Secretary Clinton said she used just one device. Was that true?
She used multiple devices during the 4 years of her term as Secretary of State.
Secretary Clinton said all work-related emails were returned to the State Department. Was that true?
No, we found work-related emails, thousands, that were not returned.
Secretary Clinton said her lawyers read every one of the emails and were overly inclusive. Did her lawyers read the email content individually?
No.
Lie after lie, law after law broken. Now, there's also the question of if Clinton's own doing, if this is her own doing, if that doesn't sink her campaign and she actually, God forbid, wins the White House, what happens the day after, on November 9th? Now, sources say the FBI review of hundreds of thousands of new emails will not be done before voters, before you head to the polls, now in 8 days. And the Washington Post is reporting that the FBI's agents, well, they wanted to investigate pay-to-play allegations at the Clinton Foundation, but that attempt was shut down by the Department of Justice. By the way, the same Department of Justice that we learned through WikiLeaks was colluding with the Clinton campaign, just like the State Department was, just like the White House was, and of course the liberal mainstream media. So think about the magnitude of all of this for a second. Hillary Clinton could be sworn into office while still being under investigation from the FBI, which would then put this country into a major constitutional crisis. Now, Clinton says Donald Trump, oh, he's not fit to serve in the Oval Office. But she, and she alone, has created a situation that could do severe damage to this country and the office of the presidency and prevent this country from solving problems. That means getting Americans back to work, fixing our broken educational system, fixing a broken health care system, fixing porous borders, vetting refugees. All of this needs to be done. Balancing a budget, stop robbing our kids. Here with reaction, Donald Trump's campaign manager, Kellyanne Conway. Kellyanne, the reason I felt it was necessary to take the time to lay this out is I'm watching the media all day. They are not telling the American people the story as it needs to be told, in her own words, the facts, related to this case. What's your reaction?
There's no question, Sean, and thank you for laying it out. You took all my talking points, by the way, but I appreciate it. Look, they're not telling the story because this story is about one woman and a pattern of conduct her entire career, which leads us to 2 words, Hillary first. Donald Trump's message is America first. Hers has always been Hillary first, whether it was representing a rapist in the 1970s of a 12-year-old victim and then laughing about the technique she used to get him his plea bargain the year before, whether it's her just clearing the field here in New York because she felt like becoming a United States Senator, whether it's her deciding against everybody's better judgment and the law to have her home-brewed private server, then to hide emails on it, to delete the emails, to bleach bit the emails, to lying about the emails. And now we have here, Hillary Clinton does what she always does. She attacks the messenger. They're going right after Jim Comey. This story exists because of Hillary Clinton, and I'll add on because of Anthony Weiner. 2 very selfish people who put their peevish political personal interest before the safety and security of the nation and have us in this conversation and this mess. And I just have a message for all the never-Trumpers. I have a message for all the undecided voters, all the independents tonight. If you truly want to break with the past, and more specifically, the cloud of corruption that is Hillary Clinton, you can't vote for her. You simply can't. I respect your ability to vote how you want, but please don't pretend that you want to make change, you want to break with the status quo, you want to move the country in a real and different direction, as 76% of Americans do, and actually vote for Hillary Clinton. The other thing, Sean, that's going on is I would imagine Every focus group facility from Boulder, Colorado to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania has been booked solid for this next week because just last week, the mainstream media was telling the Clintons, you won. It's over. He has no path. His path is narrow. His path is non-existent. Trump is finished. Landslide election for Hillary. Last week, they're ordering up their inaugural ball gowns. And this week, the Clinton campaign is in the worst communications crisis probably of the last few months.
You know, Kellyanne, let me put up on the screen because a big part of this also we have learned so much from WikiLeaks. For example, I'm putting up on the screen now how the WikiLeaks revelations are very specific to the Clinton server. You know, after the discovery of the private server, the campaign suggested creating a decoy. We learned that today. The campaign press secretary said State did a nice job with this after the release of the Benghazi emails. The co-chair of the transition team, the private email server was blanking insane. An aide wrote, there's no good answer to the server scandal. Podesta called Clinton's email scandal a hot mess. Podesta's daughter thought that Clinton, you know, wipe it with a cloth comment was scary. Of course it was, because it was bleach bit and it was acid washed. The president knew about this and he lied to the American people. I'm only giving a small part of it. Then we've got to look at, and we'll keep these up on the side of the screen. You know, then we've got to look at, all right, well, look at the Uranium One deal now, and look at how a list was separated, Clinton supporters and friends of Bill's and foundation donors, so they could benefit from the rebuilding of Haiti, make money, and funnel it back to the Clintons, or the Uranium One deal that literally handed our uranium over to Vladimir Putin because of the involvement of the Clintons and the $31+ million they got to the foundation. And that would go also to, you know, the Moroccan deal, pay to play. Do you think this server was set up for their own money? That's my question.
Yes. Yes, perhaps. But look, people need to care about it for two reasons. People may be listening to you, me right now, and saying, that all sounds great and convoluted and very confusing, but why should I care as a voter? You should care for two big reasons. Number one, you would be electing a serial liar who has been gifting and grifting most of her adult life and who used your tax dollars and your State Department as a concierge for foreign donations. Number two, you would be electing someone who puts herself and her own personal interests before your own, and we already have evidence of that. You know, Sean, I think we've been asking the right questions about the wrong candidate for months. I think when people have been talking about unfit, unqualified, bad temperament, poor judgment, they've really been talking about Hillary Clinton.
Let me ask you a last question.
Because all signs point to that, and I don't think she's fit to be president. Look, you know, the polls were already closing last week. They were tightening last week before all this happened. In the ABC poll, we've gone from -12 to -1, and you've got 35% of the likely voters in the ABC News Washington Post poll saying they'll be less likely to vote for Hillary Clinton because of these revelations. You have Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump in a tie on the attribute, who cares more about people like you? That's something that Barack Obama beat Mitt Romney 82 to 10, 82 to 15. So we like the trend lines, and I think this really hurts her among those independent and undecided voters who are quite decisive about how little they trust her.
How do you get to 270? Let's assume for a minute, and I've seen early voting numbers. I've seen absentee ballots in Florida, North Carolina, Ohio. They look good for Donald Trump, especially because Republicans tend to vote day of. He will win Iowa, I believe. Then we could move out west. I think he takes Arizona. It was tough a little bit, but he seems to have recovered very nicely there. Then he has to also win Nevada. And if he gets all of those states and the states that Romney won, he's still 5 electoral votes short. Is it New Hampshire? Is it New Mexico? Is it Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Michigan? Which other state can he win, in your opinion?
Well, you can tell where we're going by where he's going. In other words, he was in New Mexico yesterday. He was in Michigan today. He'll be in Wisconsin tomorrow. Governor Pence will be in Michigan, back in New Mexico, in Colorado. Also, Pennsylvania has always looked very promising for us, and I know It's always been a dream for Republicans, but the Trump message of renegotiating bad trade deals and creating 25 million jobs over 10 years, energy investments and unleashing energy in Pennsylvania, and certainly repealing and replacing Obamacare in a state like Pennsylvania, Sean, where the average premium increases are 53%. He was in Arizona 2 days ago, 116% increases. I mean, you can't argue with the facts. And by the way, I didn't say Jim Comey's name once. These are the issues that Donald Trump has been talking about all along.
Yeah,
this has nothing to do with the FBI investigation. So our path is, as you said, if we're 5 short, you could do 4 in New Hampshire and 1 in Maine's 2nd congressional district where they split them up, or Wisconsin, or Michigan, or Pennsylvania, or Colorado. So we have a lot of insurance policies in there.
By the way, I got to give you a lot of credit because you deal with the inane idiocy and ignorance on like 7 Sunday shows yesterday, and my heart went out to you as you had to suffer through. Obviously, many of the networks we now know colluding with the Clinton campaign.